No problem. You should know by now that when you hear that sound first thing in the morning, what it is. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, gentle people. Good morning to you all. Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome into the live. This is Trev from Trevescence, and this morning we are coming again with another video, another upload of us reading the Bible. Now, we have been doing this for several months now, and it has become sort of a part of our routine to come here every morning and read the Bible. Now, for those of you who are new here, because I have a lot of new subscribers and supporters, and I want to say thanks to each and every one of you. I sincerely appreciate you all. But just so you know, I do not endorse any particular religion or denomination when I come on my live and read the Bible. What I'm doing essentially is trying to read the Bible contextually from beginning to end. And because I am on that journey, I've chosen to share that journey with you. So I know a lot of you would love to know what's in the Bible, would love to have read it, but you just can't be bothered. Who is going to be bothered with reading 66 books and thousand some chapters? And who is going? You don't want to be bothered, right? Okay, then guess what? I'm going to be bothered for us. So I'll read and you listen, and we will discuss it together. Okay? I have sort of put on in the back of my mind all that I've been taught, all that I've learned, and all that I've been made to believe about the Bible. So when I come here reading it, I'm I'm trying to come from a place of a blank slate, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to come from that place. But once you learn something, it's hard for you to unlearn it. You often can't unlearn something you have learned. But I'm trying not to be biased, and I'm trying not to overwhelm my commentary with what I have been made to believe all my life, but to leave it transparent and open for anybody listening to think for themselves using the raw information that I'm presenting from the Bible without it being corrupted by my biases, if you understand what I'm saying. All right. So, for the last few days, we've been reading the book of Job. And those of us who grew up in a Christian household, grew up endorsing the Christian religion, we have we have been taught about Job being the most faithful man ever, how he never questioned God, he never he never asked why me when he was afflicted with sores and destruction. His family was destroyed. All his children were unalived instantly in this sudden earthquake of sorts that destroyed the house in which they were having a meal with the older brother, and everybody had died. And so we were led to believe that when we are suffering, we got no reason to complain. Just take it. And for us colored people, that has been used against us for generations. We are expected to sit down, shut up, and take it because it is our lot. That's what we have been taught. This is your lot. It's because of the color of your skin. It's because of the size of your lips, the size of your nose. It's because of your ancestry. It's because we have been led to believe that. But today we say we are not our ancestors. So we don't believe that kind of nonsense. And we no longer ascribe to it. All right? Yeah. So we do things a little differently than our ancestors did thousands of years ago. But as we read the book of Job, people, we saw that that was not even true. It was not even true that Job did not complain. Of course, yes, Job complained. Now you tell me, who wouldn't complain? If you have your children and suddenly they all died out, suddenly your animals, you had thousands and thousands of animals, thieves come in, they slaughter the servants who you have looking after the animals, they steal the animals. Your children are gone. Now your livestock is gone. Now you are afflicted with these horrible sores from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. You can't get a comfortable seat. You can't sit down because all of your behind is covered with sores. You can't lay down to sleep comfortably because you are covered with sores and you are always in pain. And there is all this purulent drainage and worms and everything coming out of these sores. You are unsightly. You are smelly. Nobody wants to come near you. Nobody wants to talk to you. And you tell me that you would sit there and believe that this is what the God you serve had to offer you in this life? You wouldn't complain. You would say, yes, God, I know you needed somebody to cover with sores. I know you needed somebody. And so here I am. Cover me with sores. Unalive my children. Take away all my wealth. Let me be sort of the sacrificial lamb. Really? Mm-mm. So, in fact, by reading the book of Job, we saw that Job really did complain. He asked, why me? He asked, why me? He said, why didn't you cause me to be unalived in my mother's womb? Did you protect me in my mother's womb? Have her give birth to me? Have me grow up to give me this? To make me become like this? Where nobody wants to talk to me, nobody wants to sit beside me, nobody wants to be in my company. Is this what it is? And we saw where he was not happy, and who would be happy with that kind of experience? Nobody I know would be. And so Job, even though he questioned why him, and he asked God over and over and over again, he was presenting different scenarios as to why he thinks that he should not have been given this lot, why he thinks that he should have been unalive long time ago. He did not want to have to deal with this kind of discomfort. And you can't blame him, because nobody would want to deal with what Job had to deal with. So it to me, it seemed perfectly understandable that he was questioning his God. You should have just taken me out in my mother's womb. You should have just taken me out when I was a child, when I was innocent and impressionable and unaware of life, of much of life itself. That would have been a good time to take me out. But you make me live, you make me get all these experiences, you make me get riches, you make me look forward to a beautiful life as an adult. And then you give me this. This was Job's plight. So when people tell you that Job never complained and made it seem all glorious, that Job was so happy that he was the one who was afflicted with these sores, that he was the one who had lost all his children, that he was the one who had lost all his riches, he was happy with that. That can't be true. It wasn't true. And so that's why I say over and over that it is important for us to read the Bible for ourselves so that we get context of what is in the Bible, so that we know who spoke, to whom they were speaking, what was the circumstances surrounding the conversation that caused a person to make whatever statement they made. And we get context by reading not just one verse, but reading an entire chapter and maybe the chapter before and the chapter afterwards. That will give us a good foundation as to what the topic was, why a particular statement was made. All right. So with that being said, we are going to continue reading the book of Job. So get your book Bible or your Google Bible and come along with me and let us read the book of Job. This morning we are reading chapters 15 through 20. Job chapter 15. Job chapter 15. Then answered Eliphaz the Temanite and said, should a wise man under vain knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind, should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? So here is Eliphaz. Excuse me. Eliphaz is one of the three friends who has come to visit Job. And here Eliphaz is saying to him, should a wise man utter vain knowledge? Should a wise man just open his mouth and just speak nonsense? Or fill his belly with east wind? He's got to eat. And when he talks, it's got to make sense. Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Yea, thou castest off fair, and restraineth prayer before God. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Thine own mouth condemns thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. Art thou the first man that was born? Or wast thou made before the hills? Hast thou heard the secret of God? And dost thou restrain wisdom to thyself? What knowest thou that we know not? What understandest thou, which is not in us? With us are both the grey-headed and the very aged men, much elder than thy father. And the consolations of God small with thee? Is there any secret thing with thee? Why does thine heart carry thee away? And what do thy eyes wink at? That thou turnest thy spirit against God, and let such words go out of thy mouth? So here, this is Job's friend, Eliphaz. Eliphaz is concerned. Eliphaz is concerned that Job has been afflicted thus. And he's saying to Job, like, what in the world? You know, what do you think? You think you are older than the hills? You think do you not understand what is happening to you? Come on. When you speak, do not just speak. Speak with a purpose. Don't just say something just because you have a mouth. It says your own mouth condemns you. And that is so true. Oftentimes it is, they always say, close your mouth, let everybody think that you are a fool, rather than open your mouth and confirm it. Kurtian is here. Kurtian, how are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome into the live, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. Don't forget the news. Just hit that like button and share out the stream. Invite your friends to come on over into the reading. And thank you all so much, so much for coming. Thank you so much, guys. Ooh, okay. Thank you so much. We are reading the book of Job. For those of you who are just coming into the live, we are reading the book of Job, and we are on to Job chapter 15 at the moment. Let us continue. Verse 10. With us are both the gray-headed and the very aged men, much elder than thy father. Are the consolations of God small with thee? Is there any secret thing with thee? Why doth thine heart carry thee away? And what do thy eyes wink at? That thou turnest thy spirit against God, and let such words go out of thy mouth. What is man, that he should be clean? And he which is born of a woman, that he should be righteous. Now this is Eliphaz talking. Eliphaz can understand, Job's plight, and here he's trying to offer some consolation to his friend. He says, "What is a man, that he should be clean? And he which is born of a woman, that he should be righteous." He's like, what's the point? Eliphaz is saying, like, what's the point? Look how you try to live righteous, but look what you got for it. You tried to be a righteous man, an upright man. Remember, Job tried to be so righteous that every single day, Job offered sacrifices to his God on behalf of his children, even though he did not know whether or not his children had sinned. But he offered the sacrifices just in case, saying, in the event that my children have sinned and I know not, here I'm offering the sacrifices on their behalf. That's how holy Job tried to be. He tried to be so radical, to follow these laws of Moses down to the T. He missing nothing. And here his friend Eliphaz is saying, look at you. You try to follow all these laws and do all of this, but look what has befallen you. Verse 15. Behold, he puts no trust in his saints. Yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight. How much more abominable and filthy is man, which drinks iniquity like water. I will show thee, hear me, and that which I have seen I will declare. Which wise men have told from their fathers, and have not hid it? Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days. And the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. He wanders abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knows that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. And when they talk about the day of darkness, that means death. Because remember, in the previous chapters, Job talked about why couldn't he have been put to sleep to go into the world of darkness, from which no man returns. And that's what he's talking about, is death. Verse 24. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king ready to the battle. For he stretched out his hand against God and strengthened himself against the Almighty. He runs upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick bosses of his bucklers, because he covers his face with his fatness, and makes collops of fat on his flanks. And he dwells in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabits, which are ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. He shall not depart out of darkness, and flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. They conceive mischief, and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. Now that is the end of the reading of chapter 15 of the book of Job. Those of you who are here, please follow me with your book Bible or your Google Bible so that you can make notes as well as we continue to read. Winsome, how are you doing? So good to see you, my darling. I hope you're having a great Tuesday morning. Boy, I tell you, guys, oftentimes I'd say, when I work the weekend nights and I sleep all day and I come home Monday and I say, oh, I'm going to sleep and then I'm going to wake up and I'm going to feel, boy, it's like the 3 days of tired just come down on you like, wow. Wow. Yeah. But anyway, we are going to move on to chapter 16 of the book of Job. Sister Winsome, how are you doing? How are you doing, Cartian? Chapter 16 says, Then Job answered. Now Job is answering to his friend Eliphaz. Then Job answered and said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are ye all. Shall vain words have an end? Or what emboldened thee that thou answerest? I also could speak as ye do. If your soul were in my soul's stead, I could heap up words against you and shake my head at you. So here Job is saying to his friend Eliphaz, if you were in my position, you just talking. But if you were in my position, I could do the same to you. I could just go ahead and talk to you and tell you to abandon your faith and that your God is not looking out for you because he has afflicted you with this terrible affliction. I could do that, but you are not in my stead. I am walking in my own moccasins, so you go walk in yours. Let us continue. But I would strengthen you with my mouth. So here he's saying, you hear him saying to his friend Eliphaz, I would strengthen you with my mouth, and the moving of my lips should assuage your grief. Though I speak, my grief is not assuaged, and though I forbear, what am I eased? But now ye have made me weary. Thou hast made desolate all my company, and thou hast filled me with wrinkles, which is a witness against me, and my leanness rising up in me beareth witness to my face. He tears me in his wrath, who hates me. He gnasheth upon me with his teeth. Mine enemy sharpened his eyes upon me. They have gaped upon me with their mouth. They have smitten me upon the cheek reproachfully. They have gathered themselves together against me. God hath delivered me to the ungodly, and turned me over into the hands of the wicked. I was at ease But he hath broken me asunder. He hath also taken me by my neck, and shaken me to pieces, and set me up for his mark. His archers compass me around about. He cleaveth my reins asunder, and doth not spare. He pours out my gall upon the ground. He breaks me with breach upon breach upon breach. He runs upon me like a giant. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin, and defiled my horn in the dust. My face is foul with weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death. Not for any injustice in my hands. Also, my prayer is pure. So here Job is sort of lamenting his plight. He's saying, look at my skin. I try to sew sackcloth to wear to cover up these sores, but look at my skin. Right now, I am old. I am wrinkled with age. Right now, at this point in my life, my eyelids are desperate to close for the last time. That means he's weary. He just wants to die. And then, as always, he comes back and he says, look at me. I am as just can be. This didn't afflict me because of any injustices that I did. This didn't afflict me because my prayers weren't pure. My prayers were pure. And there is no injustice that has been done at my hands. But, O earth, cover not thou my blood, and let my cry have no place. Also now, behold, my witness is in heaven, and my record is on high. My friends scorn me, but mine eye pours out tears unto God. Oh, that one might plead for a man with God, as a man pleads for his neighbor. When a few years are come, then I shall go the way whence I shall not return. So Job is sort of accepting his plight. He says, there's no coming back from this. What's going to happen is that I am going to go to the place from which no man return, and we know where that place is. That's the same place he referred to in previous chapters as the darkness, the dark world. The world where even the light of that world is absolute darkness. Let's move on to chapter 17. My breath is corrupt. My days are extinct. The graves are ready for me. Are there not mockers with me? And doth not my eye continue in their provocation? Lay down now. Put me in a surety with thee. Who is he that will strike hands with me? For thou hast hid their heart from understanding. Therefore shalt thou not exalt them. He that speaks flattery to his friends, even the eyes of his children shall fail. He hath made me also a byword of the people, and aforetime I was as a tabrette. Mine eye also is dim by reason of sorrow, and all my members are as a shadow. Upright men shall be astonished at this, and the innocent shall stir up himself against the hypocrite. The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. But as for you all, do he return, and come now, for I cannot find one wise man among you. My days are past, my purposes are broken off, even the thoughts of my heart. They change the night into day. The light is short because of darkness. If I wait, the grave is my house. I have made my bed in the darkness. I have said to corruption, thou art my father. To the worm, thou art my mother and my sister. And there is now my hope. As for my hope, what shall what shall see it? They shall go down to the bars of the pit when our rest together is in the dust. This almost sounds poetic if you weren't reading the full context of it. But here Job is sort of accepting his lot that, this is what's gonna happen to me. The worms, I'm going to go down into the grave, and the worms are going to devour my flesh. And that will be it for me. The chapter of my book would have closed, and that's it for me. Which is for all of us. Remember before he said that we all came into this world through a woman's womb, and we all leave this earth dead. That is so true. That those are two things that all of us humans have in common. We come in the way we come in and the way we leave. Because we come in through a woman's womb and we leave through dying. There's no ifs, no buts, no maybes, no two ways around it. That's just it for everybody. Rich, poor, black, white, no matter who you are. Those are the two common themes of your life. Coming in through a woman's womb and leaving through death. Let us move on. We are going to continue. We are going to be reading now chapter 18. I hope you all are following me, guys, and I hope you all are enjoying the reading as much as I am enjoying bringing it to you. Let us continue. The book of Job, chapter 18. And the one thing, the book of Job, the chapters are very short. So when we are reading, we usually, it usually finishes quickly because chapters are short and the verses are very short as well. Job, chapter 18. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite, and said, How long will it be ere ye make an end of words? Mark, and afterwards we will speak. Wherefore are we counted as beasts, and reputed vile in your sight? He tears himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee? And shall the rock be removed out of his place? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straitened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net of his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the streets. He shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affright. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knows not God. Now, this is the end of the reading of chapter 18. We are reading the book of Job, gentle people. So if you are here, please follow along in your book Bible or your Google Bible as we read the book of Job. Job chapter 19. Then Job answered. Now, the person who spoke to Job in chapter 18 was his other friend, Bildad. Now, we saw his other friend spoke to him in chapter 15. His friend Eliphaz spoke to him in chapter 15. And now we see his other friend, another of his friends, Bildad, speaking to him in chapter 18. Chapter 19. Then Job answered and said, how long will he vex my soul and break me in pieces with words? So you see all these words that they are throwing at him, they are really trying to encourage him to forsake his God, to forsake all these things that he has done before, where he's trying to be all righteous and upright. They're trying to tell him to just forsake that, just abandon that, because it hasn't served him well. So here Job says, how long will he vex me? Will he vex my soul and break me in pieces with words? These 10 times have he reproached me. Ye are not ashamed that ye make yourselves strange to me? And be it indeed that I have erred, mine error remains with myself. If indeed he will magnify yourselves against me, and plead against me my reproach, know now that God hath overthrown me, and hath compassed me with his net. Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no judgment. He hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he hath set darkness in my paths. He hath stripped me of my glory, and taken the crown from my head. He hath destroyed me on every side, and I am gone, and my hope hath he removed like a tree. He hath also kindled his wrath against me, and he counteth me unto him as one of his enemies. His troops came together, and raised up their way against me, and encamped round about my tabernacle. He hath got my brethren from far from me, and my acquaintance are verily estranged from me. So you see here, Job is saying, everybody gone left me. Nobody don't want to be my friend. Nobody wants to be around me. And that is understandable that nobody wants to be around him, because he has all these sores. Now people don't know whether or not these sores, the drainage from these sores is contagious or not. So nobody's gonna come up and hug you or kiss you or want to sit and eat with you if your entire body is covered with sores. Verse 14. My kinsfolk have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. They that dwell in my house and my maids count me for a stranger. I am an alien in their sight. I called my servant, and he gave me no answer. I entreated him with my mouth. My breath is strange to my wife, though I entreated for the children's sake of my own body. So you see, Job smells. He says his breath stinks. His wife doesn't even want to be close to him because the sores on his body stink. His breath stink. He is really repulsive at this moment. Nobody wants to be close to him. Yea, young children despised me. I arose, and they spoke against me. All my inward friends hated me, and they whom I loved are turned against me. My bone cleaves to my skin and to my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. Now you all know where that saying come from. You know, in Jamaica, when you escape some kind of terror, they say you escape by the skin of your teeth. So I guess this is where it came from. You see why I tell you, my friends, that the Bible has so much influence on our entire lives. We don't even know it. Some of it we are not even aware of. Because here, even when you say something like escaping by the skin of your teeth, you wouldn't think that that came from the Bible, right? I would not have thought so. But here it is. Job says, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. Have pity upon me. Have pity upon me, O ye my friends, for the hand of God hath touched me. Why do ye persecute me as God, and are not satisfied with my flesh? Oh, that my words were now written. Oh, that they were printed in a book, that they were graven with an iron pen and lead in the rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin, wow, and after my skin worms destroy this body, yet is my in my flesh shall I see God, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another. Though my reins be consumed within me, but he should say, why persecute we him? Seeing the root of the matter is found in me. Be he afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishment of the sword, that he may know there is a judgment. Now, this is what Job is saying. He ain't worried about the fact that these worms are devouring his body. Because here he is saying that there is a judgment, so he's going to, I guess he's saying he's going to come back to life after all of this. So we are going to continue reading. We are going to be reading the last chapter for today, which is going to be chapter 20. Chapter 20 of the book of Job. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite. This is Job's other friend. Remember, 3 of his friends came to see him, so this is the third friend. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causeth me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? So here's Zophar is sort of encouraging Job. He's giving Job encouraging words. He said, don't worry yourself about the people who laughing at you, because people who usually mock people and laugh after them, the joke is usually on them. They're the people who talk bad about people, the joke is usually on them. So don't you worry yourself. He says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach upon the clouds, yet he shall perish forever. like his own dung. Wow. Wow, Zafar is serious. So when they mock you and jeer you and all that, no worry about them, because they shall perish like their own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it, and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall. It is the gall of asps within him. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asps. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he built not, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the row of steel shall strike him though. It is dawn, and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart. When it says the increase of his house shall depart, it means whatever riches he has, he shall lose it. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage upon him, and the heritage appointed him by God. So here's Zophar. Zophar is really saying to Job, you know, anybody who mocks you, anybody who treats you poorly, I believe your God is going to deal with them, and he's going to deal with them so harshly that they will not be able to escape it. They will realize that it is what they are experiencing is coming from a supreme being, that it is an affliction. So worry not about your current affliction, because all of those who mocked you and jeered you are going to experience their own affliction. All right, that is going to be the end of our reading for this morning. The book of Job is rather an interesting book. We have found that in the book of Job so far, we see where Job is talking, and so too are his three friends. They too are talking with Job about his current situation, what they think he should do about it, how they think he should go about it. They are sympathizing and empathizing with him, and at the same time, they are encouraging him, you know, to forsake this ideology that you have of a God. Because look at you. Look how afflicted you are. Nobody wants to sit beside you. Your wife don't want to be with you. Your servants don't want to be around you. You stink. All of you. So nobody wants to be around you. And you still continue to maintain this faithfulness. So they are encouraging Job to abandon his faith and see what happens. And it is like, like when you do something and you get a reward, you will continue to do it. As they say, encouragement sweetens labor. So when you get a good, decent, sizable reward, you continue to do what you do. However, when you are doing something and nobody acknowledges it, nobody recognizes it, you feel like what's the point? What am I doing here? And that will cause you to give up. But giving up should not be an option. Okay, we're gonna battle it through. We are going to battle it through, and our new mantra, whatever comes in front of us, we are going to be battling it through, no matter what. Okay, guys? So that is my word for you today. No matter what, do not give up. Battle it through. All right, that's where we are going to end the reading for today. I want to say thanks for everybody who came into the live. And I noticed there were a lot of silent listeners, but they never said a word. I thank you so much as well for coming in. And that is going to be the end of the reading. Exactly, Cortian. We can't give up. Giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. Job sees what he's afflicted with, and he knows what he believes. And so no matter what his friends say, he is going to remain faithful. All right. And that is going to be the end of the reading for today. Thanks to those of you who came into the live and actually participated in the live. I sincerely appreciate you. And for those of you who came and stood in the background listening, welcome. I thank you all so much as well for coming in. All right. And that's going to be the end of the reading this morning. I want to say goodbye to you all, and I hope you all have yourselves a fantastic Tuesday. When we meet again later on, it will be on a different topic. And when we come back, join me again tomorrow morning at around the same time when we will continue to read the Bible. Tomorrow we'll be reading from Job chapters 21 through 25. All right, guys. Once again, thanks for coming. And until next time, this is Trev from Progressive, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody.